Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me Ushi and welcome back to another true crime segment with me. Today we are going to dive into part 2 of the Black X criminal syndicate. We are going to dive more into the criminal activities that they are involved in. For those of you who are coming from part 1, we spoke about the origin of the Black X. We spoke about the hierarchy of the Black X as well as the initiation process. Now we are going to talk about, once you are now a proud member of the Black X, these are some of the criminal activities that you will be expected to do. I want to give you a disclaimer. Not everybody who's involved in the Black X is involved in the criminal activities. Most of the people, yes, but not everyone. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. While I'm also talking about the criminal activities, I'm also going to talk about the international connections that the Black X has. We are going to start with cybercrime as well as online scamming. What they do is they set up these fake online profiles. They use it as bait. They are mostly active in the United States as well as the United Kingdom. They target the older ladies. Older ladies, they don't really know how to, not only older ladies but as well as older men, they don't really know how to navigate the internet properly. So they don't know some of these things. All they know is this is a really nice looking man. He's texting them, he wants to get to know them, and they also form relationships with these people, only for them to find out months later that the person who is behind this profile is a Nigerian scammer. These are what you call Yahoo boys. Yahoo boys are the type of boys that go out there and then they scam people online. You receive a text message that says, congratulations, you have won this amount of money. Now we want you to give us your banking details so that we can deposit the money into your bank account. And then once you give your banking details, your money disappears. Yahoo boys. They are called Yahoo boys because most of the time they use the Yahoo app. You know, yahoo.com, there's gmail.com, and then there's yahoo.com. These criminal syndicates, these criminal groups are everywhere. Cybercrime and online scam, it's one of the most popular ways that the group gets revenue. I used to be so obsessed trying to find out the different ways that romance scams works, and this is how it works. They just DM you and then they make you fall in love with them, and telling you all the nice things that you want to hear, and then down the relationship, maybe like a month or two, they start having problems. Now you will hear them say, yes, I am stuck where and I need this amount of money to get to my home, to see my family, to see my kids. I cannot do that. Babe, can you send me $2,000? You send the $2,000. After a week, another problem comes up. Babe, I am sick. I need this. Can you send me $1,000? You send $1,000. After another month, this is how they operate. That is why, guys, you need to open your eyes and you need to wake up. You cannot send money to somebody you haven't met face to face.
Fraudsters who swindle Americans out of millions of dollars by luring them into romance scams.
I go on online dating site, find a male friend.
Abdullah, not his real name, is part of this syndicate that we filmed undercover. Late into the night, he scours online dating sites, preying on lonely older men over the age of 60, posing as this woman.
I'll go on Instagram, use a girl's picture. I pretended to be a girl, chat with him.
The scammers pretend to be white American women residing in the US, tricking men into falling in love with them. But these are small-time hustlers working for a boss who sets them up with phones, laptops, electricity and internet. And there are hundreds more underground boiler rooms just like this throughout Ghana.
I'm the mastermind behind the whole thing. I'm from a poor family and a poor background.
Kolar's a university graduate who can't find a job.
I feel disappointed, like I didn't go to school to do this. Sometimes we take money from people, imagine that is my dad. But hey, in our game there's no sympathy. Because once you go on the sympathetic side, you go hungry.
At the very bottom of the syndicate, new recruits learn the tricks of the trade, starting out by trawling the internet for new clients. Once hooked, the closers like Voodoo and Kolar step in.
I fish everywhere. everywhere in the world.
Which areas of the world are easier to catch?
Okay, easy to catch is Americans. They think they're talking to this beautiful blonde woman. Yeah. I've paid to just have her on a video call. There's a picture.
If the victim gets suspicious, Voodoo works his magic. Here, he uses the image of one of his porn stars to forge an American passport as proof of identity. For in-person visits, they hire escorts who get a cut of the profits. Building trust can take months.
He do all that to get his attention and the trust. Boom, then we chip in business.
It's time for the big con, getting them to part with huge sums of money. The setup often centers around Ghana's globally renowned gold mines, the largest in Africa. The scammers, still posing as a woman, claim they're in line to inherit one of these mines. The victim is invited to invest in the mine with the promise of huge returns that will secure the happy couple's future together. All sealed with a forged ownership document, complete with an official seal.
We are going to go to another criminal activity that the Black X is involved in, and that is human trafficking as well as slavery. You would see here and there posters of missing children, and these children are never seen again. These children are more likely have been trafficked across borders. They get trafficked so that they can either be killed for ritualistic purposes, or they get trafficked so that they can be sold as slaves in other countries, and then they work as either sex workers or just normal slaves in people's houses. They kidnap these young boys and girls, and after they kidnap them, they ship them into containers across borders, and these young boys and girls, they find themselves in a different country, not knowing how to get home, not knowing who to contact and things like that, and then they are never seen again. But the human trafficking in most cases, yes, it happens like that, but it doesn't not only happen like that. Sometimes these people offer jobs to the young girls. They will tell you, you will be contacted by somebody in the UK asking you, do you need a job? Right? I have a job for you. You are going to be a nanny at this family, or you are going to do this specific job, whether it's a clerk or anything really in the UK, and you believe them. You're like, oh, okay. You send your papers, and then sometimes they help you. They're like, we can help you with everything. We can help you with your plane tickets and everything, and then you will work, save up, and repay us. So you are thinking this is legitimate. I will go to another country and I will work probably as a waitress. I will save up money and I will pay back these people. This is exploitation. This mostly happens in Italy, Germany, and Spain. Italy recently had arrested so many members of the Black X cult who were involved in this whole human trafficking thing. These young ladies, they leave their African countries and then they go abroad to, let me say, Italy, for example. Once she gets to Italy, then this is when she realizes that all these legitimate jobs that the people were talking about, the waitresses, they were a lie. What happens is these young girls, they get to these countries, and then they get forced into prostitution to pay off the debt of the flight ticket and everything that they sponsored them with. So for you to be able to pay back this debt, they force you into prostitution. You become a prostitute, so now you cannot escape. You cannot go anywhere. Why? Because you need to repay these people for the amount of money that they spent on you for you to be able to come to this country. They will give you an insane amount. Let me say, for example, you get there and then they tell you that no, you need to repay us $100,000 for you to finish off your debt. As a prostitute, when are you going to finish paying off $100,000? Even if you are about to finish paying off the amount, then the amount magically just increases. From $100,000 it increases to even $150,000. They just change their mind like that because this is a binding contract. This is forever. The more money you bring in, the better. These ladies, they go abroad and then they get stuck there. They have no way of coming back home, and then also they have no way of earning a proper lifestyle because they are in a foreign country. They don't know anything. They don't know who to call. They don't know who to speak to. So these are how some of the things happen. Also, you might be asking yourself, why can these girls just not run away? Why can they not just go to the Italy police or the German police or the Spain police? Now, what happens is psychologically, these people play with these young girls' minds. Let me tell you how. So before they go abroad, they go through an initiation process. They go through a ceremony. They are taken to witch doctors, and then they go through an initiation process whereby they are binded by blood. They have to make oaths, and then they have to go through all these rituals, spill their blood, whether they cut themselves. When they are asking these girls to do this, they say that this is for your benefit. After you are done with the ritual, they say that, okay, I have cursed you, so if you go to Italy and you try to run without paying back the money, then you are going to either die or going to live a life of struggles and misery because you are cursed. And these girls believe this psychologically. When you are talking about African people and ritualistic and witchcraft and things like that, it is very easy for us to believe you because these are things that we grew up in, right? So these girls believe that these things are really gonna happen, and they don't even dare try to run. They don't even dare try to do anything. All they do is they walk, hopefully thinking that they might be able to pay off these debts, so they cannot run. Psychologically, they are stuck. They are there. It's like they are binded.
So, I think I'm going to be a better person, not knowing that I'm going to go back.
A prostitute is what you will to do. Victims of sexual trafficking is something that somebody forced you to do.
L'impatto è devastante, tanto è estremamente difficile per loro raccontare le loro esperienze, perché sono delle esperienze che non permettono le parole.
I can't advise my fellow girls to say come to Italy. Where is job? No job. I get to Italy July 12. It was not my intention coming to Italy. I don't grow up with my family, I grew up with my uncle. He sent me to a woman. So the woman is the one that brought me to Italy. I was happy because my uncle that I stay with, he maltreated me a lot. I was not afraid because he not told me I'm coming to Europe to do prostitute. The captain, he lost us inside the sea, so we can't find our way out. Next thing we saw the big ship coming and they rescue all of us. All of us feel happy because we are going to be alive. We came to Palermo. There's one man, he has connections where people do prostitute. He paid to go and do my hair. He went to buy us clothes. We don't know we are going to pay back. I don't know anybody in Palermo. I can't say I'm not going to do it because if I say I'm not going to do it, the man is going to say, okay, leave my ass. If he told me leave my ass, where am I going to go? Nowhere. He took us to one little ass. First of all, he told us to go and pull off our clothes. He cut the hand like this, cut our forehead, cut here.
Now we are going to move on to the drug trafficking. Drug trafficking happens this way. Drugs are moved across borders, and when they're moving these things across borders, they use different types of people that they use. Whether they put it in your suitcase, they put it in your clothes, or you swallow them, or they put it in your hair, wherever they put it, they use different people to smuggle these drugs across borders. Like I said, you cannot refuse these people. You can't say no. You are binded by them. If you say no, you'll be beaten, you'll be killed. So they have leverage in a way. They threaten their people in a way that you have to do this, and if you get caught, that's on you. You are the one who's going to prison, not them. This one's mostly happens in places like South Africa. This is where it is most common. Yes, it happens all over the world, but in places where like South Africa, it is very common. It is so common. And then we move on to extortion and protection rackets. They tell you, we are going to protect you and your business, and you are going to pay us a certain amount of money. You have to pay this certain certain fee every month so that you can receive the protection. So let me say, for example, you are a business, a small business, and then they approach you and then they tell you that, okay, we are going to protect you, but you need to pay us like $100,000. That's like almost half of your revenue, right? But they don't care. They want money, so they are going to take it. This only does not apply to businesses. It also applies to the university students, because remember, these fraternities and these groups, they start on campus. Some students will offer protection to some students in exchange for a certain amount of money. They will be like, okay, we will protect you, because guys, mind you, some places in the world are violent. Some places in the world are very, very dangerous. There's just violence everywhere. There's rival gangs that fight with other rival gangs. So every other day there's just people on the streets fighting, right? So in a way, they feel like, okay, maybe I do need protection, and then for this protection that you are going to get, you are going to pay a certain fee every month. So this is also another way that they get money. Another way that they also get money is through armed robbery and violence. They rob people, they rob shops, they rob businesses, and they are just violent. These people, yo guys, I will insert videos. Maybe you think I am exaggerating. I will insert videos. You will see people running in the streets, running with guns, running with machetes, running with pangas. It's crazy. So they also rob stores, they rob businesses, and this is how also they get revenue. These are some of the ways that the Black X get in their revenue. This is some of the ways that the Black X cult get money. This is how they grow into this successful, rich organization that it is today. If these people are busy going around doing all these criminal activities, how come we are not being stopped? Well, there are different organizations out there that are really working hard to try and stop these things from happening. It's not just the Black X. There are so many cults out there that are responsible for all these things that are happening. Nigeria specifically has vigilantes that are on the streets trying to protect the streets from these cult members. Some streets in Nigeria, you would find people holding guns, but they are not wearing police uniforms. It's because these people are not police officers. These are just normal civilians that they have had enough of these criminal syndicates. They have had enough of these criminals, and they have decided to come together to form vigilante groups to help combat the violence that they are receiving. So they fight against the cult members. They go out there and then they look for these cult members and they round them up, and then they take them to the police officers. The crazy thing is, even if you do take them to the police officers, in most cases these people have people in upper places, in higher places. They have people in the police force, they have people in the marine, they have people everywhere. So it's very difficult for you to fight them, because even if you take them to prison, there might be even a judge who is part of the Black X, and this judge will be able to let these people go. And if you let these people go, who do you think they are going to come after next? You, who put them in prison. So it's kind of really difficult to fight these things. They are protected. These people are protected by their members that are in a high position, in the higher ranks. All this money that they are collecting from all these criminal activities, for them to be able to use it, because currently it's dirty money, isn't it? But for them to be able to use this money, they need to clean it and make it clean. Only then you can use the money. And this is where money laundering comes in the picture. So they set up things such as shell companies as well as crypto. They clean their money through cryptocurrencies, and then they also set up shell companies to help them clean the money. Now you're asking yourself, what is a shell company? A shell company is basically a company that only exists on paper, but in real life it doesn't exist, right? So these shell companies and these cryptocurrencies, as well as international bank transfers, especially in the USA, is because the USA is very flexible when it comes to moving money around, right? So they also go there. So they go to places such as the Caribbean, the USA. It's easier for you to do it in these countries rather than any other countries. So what they do is they get all this money that they are getting from all these criminal activities. They clean this money, and after they clean this money, this is now they are able to use this money to buy assets such as cars, such as houses, and all these luxuries that you see around, because some of these people are living in luxury. This is how they do it. The Black X is also part of politics. These people, they help with rigging votes. They help with muscle for hire. Let me say, for example, politicians, politics is a very dirty game somewhere, somehow. So if you need somebody to be eliminated or you need something to be taken care of, you just call the Black X, and then they'll be able to take care of the job for you, and then you pay them a certain fee. The Black X cult has international connections everywhere. They have international connections in Europe, in countries such as Italy, Germany, and Spain. Human trafficking, remember I told you, as well as drug smuggling. They have connections in the United States. Romance scams and online scams mostly happen in the United States. They have connections in Canada, also financial fraud as well as scam and cyber fraud and all that. They have connections in South Africa. South Africa is where most of the recruiting happens. It happens in South Africa. The recruiting of the new members, it mostly happens in South Africa. They have even a temple in Johannesburg as well as Cape Town, the Murder Temple, aka Mother Temple, as well as the drug, as well as the human trafficking. They have connections in Asia. They have connections in China, Malaysia, where they do internet fraud, counterfeit goods. These people have their hands everywhere. India, even United Arab. They are everywhere. I would not even be surprised if they are in Namibia. Namibia and South Africa is just one and the same. They have connections in the Caribbean, involved in things such as money laundering, as well as offshore bank accounts that cannot be traced. How do these people connect themselves with one another? Through cryptocurrency. They have encrypted messaging apps. They talk to each other through things such as WhatsApp, but then these messages are encrypted so that you cannot, or so that the police cannot trace them. They also have like fake documents as well as identity documents, because when you're traveling from one country to another, they use fake passports, fake IDs, fake driver licenses. This is how they are able to escape being captured and things such as that. How is the Black X so big and so successful, but yet nobody knows about it? Well, just a small group from Nigeria. How dangerous can it be? So that you should never underestimate anything that comes out of Nigeria. Hey, Nigeria, when it comes to quality, have you seen Nigerian movies, entertainment industry? Have you seen Nigeria's music? So you cannot underestimate anything that comes out of Nigeria. All right, so they underestimated it, and then this is how they were able to go under the radar and then put their roots everywhere, because they went undetected, because nobody cared to bring these people to justice. Nobody cared to uproot them. This is how they grew and grew and grew, because they thought if it's coming from Africa, then it's not that important, unless maybe it was coming from other continents. But yeah, now we know that you cannot really underestimate anything, right? It's crazy. Why would you do that?